messieurs, bonsoir. Bienvenue à Softball City pour la présentation de la Coupe du Canada, championnat international de softball 2023. Match de ce soir met comprise l'équipe d'Israël et l'équipe du Canada.
Good evening, softball fans, and welcome to Softball City for tonight's continuing action in the Canada Cup International Softball Championship. Tonight's matchup will feature the designated visiting team Israel as they take on tonight's home squad, Team Canada.
Voici la présentation de l'équipe locale visiteur pour ce match, l'équipe Israël. Avant première, sur le centre, numéro 12.
And now the batting order for Team Israel, beginning with the center fielder, number 12, Eliana Goppi.
Avant deuxième, sur le gauche, numéro 42.
Batting second and playing left field, number 42, Ruby Sosma.
Au troisième rang, jouant premier but, numéro 5.
Batting third and playing first base, number 5, Emily Boltner.
Avant quatrième, jouant deuxième but, numéro 21.
Batting fourth, playing second base, number 21, Kennedy Buckner.
Avant cinquième, jouant troisième but, numéro 3.
Batting fifth and playing third, number 3, Maddie Lewis.
Au sixième rang, très court, numéro 15.
Batting sixth, the shortstop, number 15, Arizona Richie.
Avant septième, lanceur, numéro 25.
Batting seventh, the pitcher, number 25, Peyton Upshaw.
Au huitième rang, receveur de droite, numéro 8.
Batting eighth and playing right field, number 8, Amanda Licht.
Avant deuxième, receveur, numéro 41.
Batting ninth, the catcher, number 41, Tara Petterwater.
Et en position flex, numéro 11.
In the flex position, number 11, Ava Kusma.
Les substituts, numéro 10.
Tonight's substitutes, number 10, Kai Whitman.
Numéro 7.
Number 7, Amanda Rumman.
Numéro 17.
Number 17, Morgan Tesser.
Numéro 14.
Number 14, Riley Shove.
Numéro 27.
Number 27, Robin Mumpler.
Numéro 1.
Number 1, Rylan Mack.
Numéro 24.
Number 24, Sheena Glass.
Numéro 20.
Number 20, Sydney Tuxley.
Numéro 33.
And number 33, Anna Berger.
Équipe Israël.
Team Israel.
Voici l'équipe locale pour ce match. L'équipe du Canada, frappe en première, jouant deuxième but, numéro 1.
And now, tonight's batting order for Team Canada. Batting first and playing second base, number 1, Kelsey Harshman.
En deuxième, joueuse à l'attaque, numéro 19.
Batting second, the offensive player only number 19, Emma Ensminger.
Au troisième rang, garde court, numéro 14.
Batting third, the shortstop, number 14, Janet Beer.
Avant quatrième, jouant premier but, numéro 13.
Batting fourth, playing first base, number 13, Zoe Hicks.
Au cinquième rang, voltigeur de gauche, numéro 3.
Batting fifth and playing left field, number 3, Erica Polidori.
Avant sixième, voltigeur de droite, numéro 42.
Batting sixth, the right fielder, number 42, Deanna Joe.
Au septième rang, voltigeur de centre, numéro 5.
Batting seventh, the center fielder, number 5, Kella Bildra.
Avant huitième, jouant troisième but, numéro 77.
Batting eighth, playing third base, number 77, Grace Mesmer.
Au neuvième rang, receveur, numéro 2.
Batting ninth, the catcher, number 2, Natalie Whiteman.
Et lanceur dans la position flex, numéro 17.
In the flex position, the pitcher, number 17, Sarah Kronwagen.
Les substituts, numéro 4.
The substitutions, number 4, Sam Ryan.
Numéro 6.
Number 6, Madeline McKinnon.
Numéro 9.
Number 9, Tom Budra.
Numéro 11.
Number 11, Kristen Boyd.
Numéro 20.
Number 20, Ruby Anderson.
Numéro 15.
Number 15, Nicole Rivet.
Numéro 22.
Number 22, Riley Gray.
Numéro 26.
Number 26, Larissa Franklin.
Numéro 28.
Number 28, Nicholas Simpson.
Numéro 77.
And number 77, Morgan Rackle.
L'équipe du Canada.
Team Canada.
Les arbitres pour ce match, au premier but.
Your officials for tonight's contest, first base umpire Terry Richter.
Au deuxième but.
Second base umpire Adam McElhoney.
Au troisième but.
Third base umpire James English.
Et au marbre.
And the plate umpire Annie Michaud.
Mesdames et messieurs, et maintenant s'il vous plaît, vous levez, retirez les chapeaux et casquettes pour l'interprétation des hymnes nationaux d'Israël et du Canada.
And now, softball fans, at this time, we do ask that you please rise and please remove all caps for the playing of the national anthems of Israel and Canada.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another spectacular night for women's international softball. It's day number 4 of the Canada Cup. My name is Peter Loubardias, alongside former Italian national team shortstop Amanda Fama, who's been kind enough to make her way up from California this week to join us and add so much insight to our broadcasts. And in this game, Canada coming off a 13-2 win over Mexico, which really in many ways didn't tell the story. It was 2-1 for Mexico going to the 6th, and they'll take on, Amanda, for me, a team that has really caught my eye. They're 2-3, but Israel has been the surprise of the event for me.
Yeah, I agree, Peter. Every time we've watched them play, they come out swinging hard, getting runners on, and really, I guess, have improved day by day. And from playing them last year and the last couple of years, as a program, as a team overall, they have improved in many different areas. And so I don't know if this will be that easy of a game for Team Canada because, like you said, Team Israel has surprised us all here, and it's good to see them improving.
Canada goes with a hometown favorite, Sarah Groenwagen, who's working her way back into top condition as far as pitching. She took last year off, the longtime veteran of this national women's staff, and they're number 1. And really, in many ways, I think Amanda using this tournament to get her truly ready for the World Cup qualifying event that comes up in a couple of weeks in the country that you called home for 10 summers, and that was Italy.
Yeah, Peter, I agree. I think she is doing exactly that, is using this as a good practice and to kind of see where she is. And I think that surprised us and put that into perspective when we saw her come in last night with the lead that they have. But every chance that a player can get to improve, they're going to take that opportunity. And so Sarah, again, taking tonight as a great opportunity to kind of put herself in check and see where she's at and prep for the biggest tournament of the season.
Sarah came on late against Mexico through 2 innings, did not give up a run or a hit, struck out 2, but it was a tough afternoon for her. Yesterday against Triple Crown Colorado, she's thrown 9 1/3 in the tournament, given up 5 runs on 7 hits, struck out 10 and walked no one, and will face an excellent leadoff batter from Newport Beach, California, Eliana Gottlieb, who is the Israel center fielder and one of their impressive young players to continue to build with. A team that went 4-5 at last summer's European Championship. And we are underway on another beautiful night at this gorgeous softball facility in South Surrey. And the high rise is a good one from Groenwagen on Gottlieb, who is 6 for 14 in the tournament. She's batting .429 and has 1 run batted in. Just completed her collegiate season at Oregon State. And Sarah Groenwagen, who had a lot of smiles late yesterday, starts the game with a strikeout of Eliana Gottlieb.
And Sarah's going to be thinking about her pitch count as well. Again, being a veteran, her arm, she wants to get in shape, but 3 pitches, 3 strikes, 3 outs. Probably nothing better for a pitcher to start a game off like that.
Ruby Salzman, the batter, and takes a healthy cut. And that's exactly what Amanda was referring to. They're not ready to maybe really compete with Japan or Canada or Triple Crown Colorado, but they are not looking at all, I use this word, overwhelmed. And you can tell the difference with the huge gap in different tournaments and events between teams, even at this level.
And that brings up a good point. I think what I'm seeing again from the outskirts this season versus playing Israel is there's confidence. They know they're getting better and getting confidence along the way.
Salzman is from Northridge, California. Played at West Texas A&M University. Was an impressive 10 for 25 in last year's European Championship and is 5 for 16 here in Surrey. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Salzman, and make it strikeout number 2 for Groenewegen, who looks dialed in to begin this game.
Again, going upstairs, one of Sarah's best pitches. No reason to not continue with that and get herself some more strikeouts.
First base player Emily Valtman steps in for Israel and gets a bat on it. Leung is there, gives way to Polidori, and an excellent start for Sarah Groenewegen and Team Canada. They will come to bat looking to run their record tonight in the round robin to 5-1 at the Canada Cup. Israel goes with a young woman I think they have high hopes for internationally. She is University of Tennessee pitcher Peyton Gottschall. Gottschall played her first number of years collegiately at Bowling Green University, where she was the 2022 MAC Conference Player of the Year and was a key part of the Tennessee staff that earned them a berth into this year's College World Series. And she faces Kelsey Harshman. Off her glove, up the middle, tough play for Arizona Ritchie, and another base hit for Harshman, who had 2 home runs and 4 runs batted in the late onslaught against Mexico last night. So off the glove, and Harshman right after it early. Emma Ensminger not at third tonight. Didn't have a chance. The top of the inning went by pretty quickly. Grace Mesmer is no stranger to that position. And Emma Ensminger in the designated player or flex role, although on the lineup card listed as the catcher. She's not the catcher.
We've seen some weird things in the lineup on paper or out on the field, but again, trying to utilize, put everyone everywhere, or have a little rotation, and figuring that out again, trying to get things set going into Italy in a couple weeks.
Gottschall pulled but foul by Emma Ensminger, who's from Victoria, British Columbia. By the way, if you ever get a chance to make your way to Victoria, it's another place I would highly recommend to you, Amanda. Need to take a ferry to get there, but it's a lovely spot, and that is where Emma is from. She had a great collegiate career at San Jose State University, having a fine tournament. She is 4 for 14, has 2 home runs. She homered last night again, one of 5 Canadian home runs against Team Mexico, as Canada was down 2-1, scored 7 in the sixth, then added 5 more in the top of the seventh. Part of a 20-hit Canadian attack last night. Facing Peyton Gottschall. And Canada with Kelsey Harshman, who has her 8th hit of the tournament, at first. Ensminger, could be 2. The turn by Arizona Richie. Ensminger gets down the line.
And that's actually a perfect double play ball for the defense. Unfortunately, with Emma being so quick, they're not able to pull it off, but turned well.
Buckman to Richie for 1, and here is one of the stories of this tournament. Shortstop for Canada, Janet Leung. And on the move is Ensminger, and she's in safely with a stolen base, just to further illustrate that she can run.
She can run, and I think we can get out of this is the importance of a good throw. If that throws a little more on the right side of the bag, that could be a lot closer of a play for Canada and Israel.
Janet has always been known for defensive work, but in this tournament, I don't know what she's been better at. I know this. Although I thought she had 10 hits, officially now, at least on my stat sheet, she's 9 for 16. Arizona Richie with a tough play, but makes it. Could be 2. Good base running by Emma Ensminger as she slides underneath the tag, and Gottschall able to induce Janet Leung into a ground out.
Yep, great base running with the ball that a shortstop has to charge. Richie makes a great play. Quick transfer with a speedy runner down first. Canada has a runner in scoring position now.
Zoe Hicks batting an impressive .412. She has 7 hits in the tournament, 3 doubles, 2 runs batted in. As Canada trying to bring home the game's first run. Ensminger at third. She is from Boissevain, Manitoba, and just gets a piece of it to foul it back. 25 years of age is Zoe Hicks. In the number 4 spot tonight in the lineup, has generally been in the number 3 hole. Janet Leung moved up again from 5 to 4 to 3. As Gottschall misses outside to Zoe Hicks. Two balls and a strike with 2 out in the bottom of the first. Canada and Israel. And they don't collide a lot in international play.
They don't, and I think that's why this Canada Cup tournament is such a great tournament, is because, yeah, European countries play each other so often, and over here on the Americas side, they play each other, but it's very rare that they get together and be able to play each other.
And Arizona Richie deep into the hole at shortstop. Strong throw across the diamond. So Canada strands 1. No score after 1 at the Canada Cup in South Surrey.
joueuse de troisième but numéro 3. Third base number 3, Brandy Lewis. Numéro 15.
The shortstop, number 15, Arizona Richie.
Position par l'erreur, personne laissé sur les buts, milieu de la deuxième manche, c'est 0-0.
Top of the second inning, 14 is Ringland's work. No runs, no hits, nobody left on, and no errors committed by Team Canada.
Erica Polidori, a veteran, 31 years of age, from Brantford, Ontario. Olympic bronze medalist 2 summers ago. She would be feeling better at the plate. Had a couple of hits in her last 2 at-bats. Did Erica in the big win over Mexico. 2 for 5 with a double in the game. And drove in 2. Was hitless prior to those 2 at-bats. Is Peyton Gottschalk out of the University of Tennessee, working for Israel. And she's more than capable of pitching an excellent game, and the movement there was excellent. Curved right in. 2 balls and a strike to Erica Polidori. Goes the other way, and she has another base hit. It's an extra base hit. Licht will get to it. Polidori on her way, standing up with a leadoff triple to open the bottom of the second. And never tell me that confidence isn't as big a thing as any in sport.
And you can see the confidence in her running. As soon as that ball gets past the right fielder, she knows she's going to third. Stand-up triple, doesn't even have to slide in. Great leadoff hit, hopefully to get Canada a run in this inning.
Now is 3 for 3 in her last 3 at-bats. And Emily Valtman almost made a great play. Couldn't quite get there, only able to trap it against the screen, and gives 21-year-old Surrey product Kiana Jones another chance. She was 2 for 5 last night with a home run, 5 for 14 in the tournament, just coming off her college season in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Is a member of the University of North Carolina Tar Heels. A lovely campus and facility. Amanda, another hockey trip that turned into a softball visit.
How fun. And that's making the best out of all these opportunities that you get, and that's what happens here too with softball.
Kiana having a good tournament. She drives it at Amanda Licht. It is gone. Kiana Jones is homered in back-to-back games for Canada.
And great home run at that. This pitch is elevated up in the zone and outside, and she's able to keep her hands high, get that barrel out, and it's more of a line drive, meaning that she had the power behind that.
And there's Shania again.
Love it. I added this song last night.
Did you?
Sent it to a few of my friends on other teams. But yeah, that was a great home run. A ball kind of out of the zone, but being able to drive that over the fence is the power of this Canada offense.
2 more runs batted in for 21-year-old Kiana Jones. Her second home run, and the Surrey product gives Canada a 2-0 lead. Abbotsford's Callum Pilgrim, another breakout Canada Cup for a Canadian. Callum in the tournament leads Canada in average at .571. She's 8 for 14. She only had 7 at-bats in the entire tournament 1 year ago when she was in a reserve role behind the likes of the injured Larissa Franklin and, at least for now, the departed star outfielder Victoria Hayward. And absolutely making the most of this opportunity.
And good for her. When you're put on the reserve, that hurts. That hurts, and to be able to have a chance and then produce like she's been, producing runs and home runs, it's a great thing for an athlete to feel, first being on the reserve and missing out and then coming out and just crushing it.
Jen Salling, very responsible for the hitting side with Team Canada. She's coaching over at first base. And one of the great hitters Canada has ever produced.
I was able to talk to Jen quickly before this game, and she said just that she's excited to work with these hitters, hasn't had a lot of time with them. And it's not the team that she had in Tokyo. She understands that. But to work with young athletes and build them up, and she even said to have the potential to match that bronze medal team is something she's super excited to work with.
She's coaching at the University of Central Florida, helping grow that program. Mesmer. Cloverdale's Grace Mesmer. Her tournament continues to be a good one at home plate for Grace. 5 for 9 now with 2 doubles and 2 runs batted in as she pokes it to right. And that looks like the game plan, understanding that Gottschall would work to the outside part of the plate, and it's where Canada has done its damage here in the second. And I would suggest a big part of that comes from head coach Kaylee Rafter, who is an assistant coach this year at Florida State, and their meetings with Tennessee is Mesmer trying to steal a base, but she is thrown out by youngster Tara Vandewater, who's only 18, on her way to Oklahoma State.
And that's a great throw. Earlier she had on the other side of the bag, gets it on the right side, and gets herself an out.
I think
one
Kaylee,
she'll remember, too, at that.
I think Kaylee, a big part of some great advanced scouting on this pitcher. Seen her a lot.
Well, you're right. You can see from up here that the pitches are outside, and Canada's not even taking full swings. With those outside pitches, it's really hard to power them up. So throwing the bat out, getting those not quite bloopers, but placing the ball really well on an outside pitch is important, and we've seen 2 of those already here in this game. So, yes, absolutely scouting a pitcher and being able to adjust and make those adjustments up to bat is what Canada's doing really well at right now.
No one on base after the throw out of Mesmer is Natalie Weidman, the catcher. Fouls it down the right side. Amanda Licht is almost on the line in right field. Can't be much closer as an outfielder than she is right now. Chopper, Maddie Lewis. Canada, a triple from Erica Polidori, followed by Kiana Jones' 2-run homer to right, and Canada with a 2-0 lead over Israel on night number 4 of softball's Canada Cup. Just paid tribute to some long-standing volunteers, scorekeepers, announcers at dozens of Canada Cups in the past. Great touch. And without volunteers, Amanda, you have no chance to put on a world-class event like this one.
It's really incredible to be on the backside of it now and not playing. You see what goes into a tournament like this, and it's really remarkable. And all the volunteers to our right and our left each play their own part in making this happen for the athletes that just get out there and play, and that's all they're focused on. So it really is a special tournament altogether, and that was nice to see those volunteers appreciated.
Peyton Gottschall is going to hit. She is the Team Israel pitcher tonight. She's given up 4 hits, including a 2-run homer to right fielder Kiana Jones. And Canada enters the third with a 2-0 advantage. Sarah Groenwagen has retired all 6 batters that she's faced, has 3 strikeouts, up to 13 in her 3 tournament appearances. Working to Gottschall. And delivers a strike to even the count. Sarah has played a key role on this women's national team and all its success, and there have been many successes, a bronze medal. She was not part of the 2018 team, and I'll get to that story before the game is out. Came down with Legionnaire's disease. And the truth of the matter is we almost lost Sarah during the summer of 2018. It was a very scary time. She was in a coma, but came out, and then a year later pitched at the Olympic qualifier. Truly an amazing story.
It really is, and any athlete, whether you're in the box facing Sarah, you have to have respect for her for that. It's really unbelievable. It gives me chills to hear that, and it's remarkable. And then to come out and dominate on top of that, it's amazing.
Took a year off. Played a little bit last year for Athletes Unlimited, but has returned after a year away of national competition with Team Canada, team that she has been playing for and in so many ways such a key member of the staff since 2015, when she threw arguably the best game a Canadian women's pitcher has ever thrown in a big game, certainly one of. Beat the Americans in Ajax, Ontario, 4-2 in an 8-inning game to win the gold medal for Canada in 2015. And she absolutely is in command early in this game. The changeup again serves up strikeout number 4. In that game, she shut out the Americans for 7 straight innings. It went to the international tiebreaker rule where you put a runner to begin that 8th inning at second base. Canada scored 4. The Americans came back with 2. And she was spectacular.
Not only to shut out USA, but to be able to score 4 on them in extra innings, that is tough. Talk about pressure at its highest when you're playing USA in extra innings.
It was a wonderful moment for the country of Canada in softball. 2-time Pan American Game gold medalist, the first Canadian collection to win Pan American Games gold, came in the year 1983. And there's been a lot of runner-up finishes in Pan American events for Canada. In fact, they just had one recently in Guatemala to the United States as Amanda Licht, the Israel right fielder, fouls it away. And Canada could make a pretty strong argument. 2015 gold and then the bronze in Tokyo would be as big a moments for the country in women's softball as we have ever had if you are a Canadian. Groenwagen wanted that, and it just low by the looks of things from our vantage point. Amanda Licht, the batter, in right field, where she has been in each and every game. the previous 5 for Israel with a record of 2-3.
I'd like to see her sit change up there, and it's hard. Unbelievably hard, but these Israel athletes, again, need to start expecting that changeup, almost going into the box, expecting changeup, and then reacting to a fast pitch is the route I would start to go with this, because you know you're going to get that nasty changeup more often than not.
Strikeout number 5 on the nasty aforementioned change from Groenewegen. Facing a youngster who is yet to play a college game, but she will, and she'll do it, Tara Vandewater, at one of the premier programs in NCAA Division I women's softball, Oklahoma State. And yes, while Oklahoma gets all the praise, they have built an excellent program, the rival program at OSU. And this youngster, you saw it even on the throw earlier. She is talented. Took off her mask in a game yesterday, and she might look 14. She doesn't play like it. Look at the stance even. Very composed. That's hard for anyone on planet Earth, let alone when you're 17, just turned 18.
Yet here she is facing the world's best with Sarah, so what a great chance to just learn and get better. Being only 17, I mean, you can only go up from here.
And that changeup is spectacular. 3 consecutive strikeouts in the inning for Sarah Groenewegen, who is world class tonight. Canada by 2 after 2.5 in South Surrey.
She's going to have a good little strikeout number here.
That was the best thing that could have ever happened yesterday. Getting
Second base number 1, Kelsey Hartman.
all business when it comes to softball, I'm sure.
And
intimidating at that too, even though, you know, it's everyone's friendly outside and then your enemies on the field, but when it's game time, it's all business.
not used to seeing Janet Leung this week go out in consecutive at-bats because it hasn't happened, but it has happened tonight. Kelsey Harshman has her third home run in the last 2 games off of Canadian third base coach Chris Jones, who was a world-class shortstop and played a number of years for Team Canada there, coaching over at third. Was the head coach of Team Ontario at last summer's Canada Summer Games on the women's side. And a terrific player and an equally as terrific person. Always enjoy my chats with Chris. People who have given so much to the sport, both on the field and now helping others be better. And Zoe Hicks, good swing on the offering, courtesy of Peyton Gottschall, who's given up a couple of home runs, and that's the reason for the Canadian 3-0 lead as they look to run the round-robin record to 5-1. And their last date is a big one. Tomorrow night at 6 against Japan, who will play unbeaten Triple Crown Colorado next on this diamond. Arizona Ritchie calls off Ruby Salzman, taking charge. And there are 2 outs now for Canada in the bottom of the third. Erica Polidori heating up for Canada. 3 for her last 3. She tripled her last time up and was on base when Kiana Jones hit a ball over the right field fence. Canada running again. Vandewater. She has a chance to be special.
She really does. That's twice that she's thrown out 2 Canada runners, which doesn't happen often, let alone on a changeup. So a little slower speed. The ball's coming in, gives the runner a little bit of a head, a little jump. But great job getting it down to second.
Kelsey Harshman delivers again, and Canada, courtesy of her third home run of the tournament and third in the last 2 games, is in front by 3 after 3 in South Surrey. Tara Vandewater, the young Israel catcher who is from Winterset, Iowa, throwing out Emma Ensminger to end the Canadian third. It's 3-0 Canada. A 2-run shot by Kiana Jones and Kelsey Harshman, 2 for 2 tonight with another home run, her third of the tournament. Eliana Gottlieb, the top of the Team Israel order. An all-time U.S. great in Leah O'Brien Amico, a 3-time American gold medalist in this sport. Is a big part of Team Israel and their coaching staff moving forward. She was sensational. Part of a great team that I was lucky enough to watch in person back at the 2002 Women's World Championships in Saskatoon. Gottlieb, Groenwagen in time.
Good bunt. Good bunt, good idea. Sarah gets off the mound. Again, trying to put pressure on the defense. I like that with the small ball. They're not catching up to Sarah's rise ball if she's throwing it. They're definitely not hitting that changeup. A lot of people can't. So putting the ball in play and forcing the defense to make a play is a good idea here from Israel.
Well, 6 strikeouts so far for Groenwagen. One of those against this batter, Ruby Salzman. And Sarah in command starts with a strike. Salzman has played for Israel in the last 2 consecutive European Championships. Kiana Jones well positioned in shallow right, and there are 2 away.
First base number 5,
Emily Valtman playing over at first from Newton, Iowa. Played collegiately at Drake University in Des Moines, Iowa. They are known for the Drake Relays, a big track and field event that is staged there annually. As Amanda looks like, how on earth did you find that? She hit .302 at Drake this year with 4 home runs and 26 runs batted in. Did Emily Valtman. And in this tournament, Emily has swung it well. Hasn't always been rewarded. 3 for 14 now in the tournament for Emily Valtman.
And good idea to show bunt there again, what we just talked about, putting the pressure on the defense.
That's the other aspect about the way Nikki Palmer, the head coach on this Israeli team, goes about her business. Really tries to make the most, I find, of her team's skill set.
And that's hard with a young team or newer players to a team. You have to learn, as a coach, you have to learn these girls quick, learn their strengths, learn their weaknesses, to be the best coach, to let the girls really perform to their best.
As my son would say, that change, it is nasty. Nasty. Another strikeout. Number 7. And Canada with a 3-0 lead, moving to the bottom of the 4th here at Softball City.
sur des coups sûrs, pas d'erreur, personne ici sur les lieux, après 4 manches. Canada mène 5-0. Et in the bottom of the fourth inning for Team Canada, the 2 runs off of 2 hits, no runners left on base, and no errors committed by Team Israel.
A pitching change. Sarah Groenwagen, her evening is over, and what an evening it was. She was perfect. She faced the minimum, 12 batters in 4 innings, and had 7 strikeouts. And now the first appearance, Canada, somewhat like Triple Crown Colorado, has a large pitching staff here. And one of those pitchers is Nicola Simpson, who just pitched very recently. She's 20 years old. She's from Seattle with dual citizenship. On the ground, Leung and Janet throws it wide of first.
I'm going to say something, it took a weird hop. Whether it hit a rock or spun into a sand hole. That was weird, and Janet just tried to get it out.
And Janet Leung, with what seemed inconceivable prior to that play, is her making an error. And Israel with their first base runner of the game. Thanks to Kennedy Buckman, who reaches on the air to Janet Leung. Nicola Simpson, used sparingly at the University of Tennessee. She did get into one game at the College World Series, and it was late, and it was against Oklahoma.
Well, we talk about learning opportunities, and
great throw. And that's a new Canadian catcher, too, who's entered the game. We don't always get the changes up here. Looks to me like it's Madeline McKinnon, who's come in, and she just threw a strike. So we've seen young catchers throw quality runners out. Is Kennedy Buckman thrown out? And Nicola Simpson with a changeup for her first strikeout of the Canada Cup. She did pitch in this event as a 19-year-old last year. Pitched 7 1/3 here, gave up 4 runs on 5 hits. Did have 3 strikeouts in her best outing against Australia's national team, and pitched 10 2/3 at the World Games and was very effective. You might remember her pitching 5 1/3 against Italy. In that game, won by Canada. last July in Birmingham, Alabama. That's her best outing ever in her young time with the Canadian National Women's Program. In 5 1/3 in that 10-4 victory over Italy, she gave up no runs on 2 hits. She pitched in 4 innings at the World Games. And Nicola Simpson, welcome to the Canada Cup. Back-to-back strikeouts and gets a big hug. So does catcher Madeline McKinnon. Canada in front by 5 as the host team of this great annual event, the Canada Cup. Red hot Kelsey Harshman, who homered and singled so far tonight. Kelsey Harshman with 3 home runs in her last 2 games. She had 2 two-run shots in what turned into a blowout win over Team Mexico. New pitcher is Ava Justman, and she's had a lot of game time. She's pitched in 3 games so far. Israel is 2 and 3. So she's pitched in 3 of the 4, and she started in all of those games. We were joking about her pitching 2 2/3. Last night, a couple, and Harshman on a rope. Hit number 3 for Kelsey Harshman, the Canadian leadoff batter and best hitter.
When you hit balls like that off the bat consistently, they just feel good. It makes you feel so good. You know you're hitting the ball the best that it can be hit, and she's done that on the right side, the left side. She's been fun to watch, and I'm excited to watch her the rest of the tournament.
She's 10 for 19 now with 3 home runs and 6 runs batted in. And 5 for her last 5. And here is Larissa Franklin for the first time. And that is pleasant news for Team Canada. She hurt an ankle, did the Maple Ridge, British Columbia product in their 4-game series with a Florida Vibe in Nashville in preparation for this Canada Cup.
It's good to see her out here. Being a player, a former player, and getting injured right before a tournament is never easy. So I'd like to see her just get a good square the ball up here. But it's good to see her. It's good to hear the crowd's reaction to seeing her as well.
It's great to see your reaction when you removed the sunglasses and made me take a double. We were not necessarily expecting her for this tournament. She has her first at-bat. Longtime Canadian veteran, Olympic bronze medalist, an impressive 5 for 15 for Canada last summer at the World Games. She was 3 for 10 here and pops it up. And I'm more concerned about watching her run, to be frank, than I am to where the ball was going. But she pops up. But great to see Larissa at least be healthy enough to give it a try.
Right, and that's the thing with what they have coming up in Italy, in Butrio, Italy soon. They're not going to chance Franklin re-injuring herself, so give her an at-bat, see how she does. I'm sure they would have given her a runner, but it's good to see her out here and be healthy enough to get an at-bat.
Janet Leung, Harshman, Van de Water, another strong throw.
Especially from picking it out of the dirt. That delays your throw a little bit. She's got to go down. The runner gets a good, she actually blocks it, bobbles it, and gets it up out of her arm pretty quick. Yeah, these young catchers are really putting on a show from both teams today.
Oklahoma State, I think you've found a gem. Janet Leung on to make the play is Kennedy Buckman. And Janet is 0 for 3 tonight. Kelsey Harshman adds a stolen base to her portfolio. You can take that portfolio to any company. 10 for 19 now. 5 for her last 5 as Ava Justman bounces that. It was a 2-hopper before it got to the screen. She lost the grip.
Yeah, that's all that is. I'm sure that's got to be frustrating for a pitcher, but I think it happens so often. I don't know how it can't happen more often, but just regroup, get in there, get a good pitch over the plate.
Zoe Hicks looking for her first hit of the evening, the 25-year-old Manitoban who's really turned heads. Certainly I know she's turned mine. First chance I've had to watch her in person. Relative newcomer to the national scene. Up the middle, Arizona Ritchie in time. So Ava Justman comes on, gives up a hard single to left to Kelsey Harshman, but then shuts the door as Canada with a 5-0 lead as we go to the 6th in their 6th game at the Canada Cup.
Pour l'équipe Canada, probablement deuxième but numéro 11, Kristen Boyd. Kelsey Harshman devient en joueuse à l'attaque. Substitutions for Team Canada. Now at second base, number 11, Kristen Boyd. Kelsey Harshman, qui va sur le field. Joueuse désignée, numéro 25.
Oh, I could use another cold drink after seeing that. She could use, well, some cover from the camera. A defensive change for Canada. Another youngster to the program, Kristen Boyd, comes in at second to play for Kelsey Harshman, who was just 3 for 3 with a home run. Another routine night at the office for, I'm going to make her a t-shirt. Professional hitter.
I think she's earned it.
Earned it. Born to hit. Nicola Simpson. Now, she only pitched 16 innings all year long at the University of Tennessee, so the work is necessary for her.
Right, and if she wants to be a part of this Canada staff, of course you have to earn it, but getting the reps in as much as you can.
Italy putting up a big number at the other park. Are they playing Greece?
They are playing Greece.
Leading 15-0 as Amanda ducked out, took a peek. Imagine that. A former Italian national team member checking out the other park just for a second. And thank you for doing that, actually. I'd like to keep everybody up to date, even on what's going on. Gottschall, 2 hops. Nicola Simpson, a strong throw. And she has come on and done a very nice job after Sarah Groenwagen's brilliant performance. 4 innings. Did not allow a base runner. She was perfect for 4 and struck out 7. And Kaylee Rafter coming out to have a chat with Nicola Simpson, and she's going to make a change. Good for the 20-year-old Nicola Simpson. She did not give up a hit in the 4 batters she faced. The only batter reached on an error. And then new Canadian catcher Madeline McKinnon threw out the stealing Kennedy Buckman. And this is 17-year-old Ruby Anderson in her second straight Canada Cup. Thought she did a nice job the other night as things were starting to slide against Italy. Canada was up 7-1. An even younger Canadian, 16-year-old Morgan Reimer, came up and learned about facing an excellent international world-class lineup in Italy. And then Ruby Anderson, who pitched the Langford Lightning to the U17 Canadian Championship, where I believe she had 2 no-hitters.
Wow. That's impressive on its own.
And Ruby pitched 2 innings the other night. Did not give up a run and just the 1 hit. And that's a difficult lineup to contain. Is Team Japan getting ready for the unbeaten showdown against Triple Crown Colorado. So happy to have you here. You are worth the price of admission on your own. And they're not shy.
They love it.
As they should. They're tremendous. And they will play unbeaten Triple Crown Colorado in the game of the day here on this Thursday. It's already Thursday evening at the Canada Cup. So Ruby Anderson enters the game to face Amanda Licht, the right fielder for Team Italy, who struck out facing Sarah Groenwagen in her only at-bat, and Anderson comes in throwing inside for ball 1. Did you notice anything in particular about Ruby in the 2 innings she threw a couple of nights ago against Italy?
More confidence than I was expecting. For one, again, facing Italy, that's a tough lineup. But the confidence that you can see in her was something that I was impressed by.
Well, here's an interesting matchup of youngsters. Tara Vandewater from Iowa, playing internationally for the first time for Team Italy. Winterset, Iowa is her hometown. And Ruby Anderson, 17 years of age. And Vandewater has thrown out 2 Canadian runners trying to steal in the game, and almost a third. and fouls this back to the screen. Tara Vanderwater struck out on about as nasty a changeup as Sarah Groenwagen could throw to end the third. She is 18, will not turn 19 until December 22nd in handcuffs. The new Canadian second base player, Kristen Boyd.
Yeah, Boyd comes up just a little early. Again, that ball's hit hard. It's scary. Comes up, pulls her head up a little bit. And what we can see from that is once you pull your head up, your chest comes up, your glove comes up. Unfortunately, the ball tips right on the bottom of it and rolls off into the outfield, resulting in a runner on first now. So it's important to keep your head down.
So it's called an error for Kristen Boyd. Canada has yet to give up a hit in the game. They have committed 2 errors. Eliana Gottlieb struck out and grounded back to Sarah Groenwagen, her first 2 times up tonight. The fine young outfielder from Newport Beach, California. Change up. And a strike from Ruby Anderson. And it's interesting, Amanda, that you made that analysis because I'm exactly on the same page. I was lucky enough to be here last year to watch her as a 16-year-old. But she's different. Age, maturity, more time, been through it. It's helpful.
And you can see that doing this a couple years in a row. But what just 1 year can do. And so these young athletes, if they can get that confidence quick, they can really excel.
Polidori settles under. And again, Ruby Anderson comes on in relief and does a nice job.
Yeah.
Canada 3 outs away from their 5th win at Softball City and the Canada Cup. The long ball, 9 hits, 5 Canadian runs. Kelsey Harshman, 3 for 3 with a home run. Kiana Jones has her 2nd home run in as many games, and she has a double. This is Erica Polidori, who tripled and scored the first Canadian run on Kiana Jones' 2-run homer back in the 2nd. Harshman added a solo shot in the 3rd, and Canada added 2 more in inning number 4. As we're in the bottom of the 6th, as Ava Justman in her 2nd inning in relief of the starter, Peyton Gottschall, who pitches at the University of Tennessee. We also saw Nicola Simpson, who pitches at the University of Tennessee. Earlier today, we saw Carlin Pickens, who pitches at the University of Tennessee. Their whole staff is virtually here. Pickens was impressive late in that game against Italy in the 2-1 Triple Crown Colorado. In the hole for Arizona Richie. First glance, maybe we'll get another look. I thought she might have beat it.
I agree with you, Peter. I think she got her foot there.
Very close. Arizona Richie's had a fine night over at shortstop. Plenty of assists. And this young woman has had a fabulous night. 2 for 2 with a home run, a 2-run shot to open the scoring, and then doubled and scored in the Canadian fourth inning. 21-year-old Surrey's Kiana Jones heating up for her country. She has separation in her hands. Which to me is a little interesting for someone who sprays it and hits it with power. Remember her home run. She's a right-handed batter. She drove that over the right field fence for her second home run of this event.
And if I remember, it was kind of a higher outside pitch, which with that separation in her hands, it's meant to keep you on top of the ball and keep that right hand coming forward instead of dropping down. And so I didn't get a look at it her previous at bat, but if she had that split grip, it would explain why she did so well getting to that ball.
Well, this time she pops up to Gottlieb in center. And for the first time in this game, Kiana Jones of Canada is retired. And Justman doing a nice job in relief of the starter, Peyton Gottschall. And here's Tucson, Arizona with Toronto connections. Dual citizen, and Riley Crane. And wallops that foul. Riley's first Canada Cup. And in the tournament so far, Riley Crane is 2 for 6, has a run batted in. And she has a confident-looking approach at home plate. Canada's number 22.
And she fouled that first ball off well to give her a little more confidence.
Lefty against lefty. That can be difficult. I won't ask you about it because you batted from the other side, so you had a lot of, it's not even worthwhile asking somebody about batting righty against righty, but left-handers can be tricky. Riley Crane. Now she's 3 for 7 in her first ever Canada Cup for the Canadian women's national team. Not overwhelmed in front of these big crowds either, which again bodes well for Canada's future moving forward. Grace Mesmer, she's swinging it as well as I've ever seen her. She helped Canada to a bronze medal in 2019 at the U19 World Cup. That was a great result for Canada. And I don't have to tell you who finished first and second. That was a really good team in California. Good age group for Canada. Grace Mesmer in this tournament has her 5th hit in 10 tries. And the last ball she hit could have easily been a hit. It did drive in another Canadian run for Grace. Forced Arizona Richie to go into the hole and make a fine play at shortstop. And a visit again from head coach Nikki Palmer, who is the head coach of this team. Israel. I think she's done a really nice job so far with this program. Looks like they're going to fall, barring a huge comeback in the 7th, to 2-4. But it's been the only way I can describe it, Amanda, it's been a very competitive and encouraging 2-4.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing is the reason they have these tournaments is for athletes to grow and teams get better, and Israel is getting better. They're here competing with every team so far and will continue to throughout the tournament, as we're going to see. And talking to some of the players a little bit, they just want to see improvement. And like Peter, you and I have talked about, is you need a couple clutch players to help grow a team, and Israel is getting more and more of those. And you're really starting to see a team build here and be able to compete with the top teams here like Canada and Mexico and Italy.
Riley Crane as Grace Mesmer walks at a full count pitch. Issued up by Ava Justman in her 4th appearance of this Canada Cup. Riley Crane, by the way, just finished her first year at the University of Wisconsin. Was a star in Tucson at Catalina Foothills High School. In her senior year there, she batted .588. Madeline McKinnon in her 2nd straight Canada Cup. The young catcher who threw a rope to nail an Israel runner in her first inning of work in the tournament behind the plate. And Madeline, a healthy cut on that Justman pitch. Swings and missing. And she's another hometowner. She's 19 as Madeline McKinnon. 0 for 3 at last year's Canada Cup. And good work by Vandewater to climb the ladder and keep that from being a wild pitch. Madeline attended McLennan Community College in Waco, Texas this past year, where she hit .286. Off the hands. 0 for 3, as I mentioned, in last year's Canada Cup. Played in 2 games, one against the Canadian senior champion Calahoo Aarons and the Philippines. Represented Canada in the U17 2019 Pan Am Championship. Had a couple of RBIs in that game, or in that event, both against the Dominican Republic. Canada. Maybe this is their future catching star themselves.
It just might be. She's been doing well.
Madeline's 2nd plate appearance. She's 0 for 1 in the tournament. It's her first night behind home plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to Surrey's own Madeline McKinnon, and takes the change outside low as Justman again works full to another Canadian hitter. And the 2 runners on base will both be on the move.
She's had some big swings in this at-bat. Let's see if she can produce.
And we'll get another opportunity as young 18-year-old Vandewater diving for it. Couldn't get there, and neither could Emily Voltman, trying to race in from first.
I'd like to see Madeline shorten up a little bit, like we said, get a bigger stance, take away a little bit of her step, and have a smaller swing just to make contact. She's got runners at first and second being a scoring position. If she puts the ball in the outfield, they can get another run here.
Well, she draws a walk, and now the bases are loaded.
And good for her. Like I was saying, to be patient and to be disciplined. You could tell she wanted to hit with those big swings. So to be able to take that pitch is great discipline from her. Good job.
Kelsey Harshman comes back into the game to hit.
I'm just going to finish it off here.
2 more Canadian runs.
And she's on fire. You know, you want to give someone else a chance with a score like this, but you also don't want Kelsey to get out of her groove.
I can't remember who sang that song, Into the Groove, but she's into the groove. 5 for her last 5, 2 home runs. And a rocket, but caught. Great catch by Kennedy Buckman to Rob Harshman.
That's amazing. That ball is rifled off Kelsey's bat. Great reaction, 1-2 steps, and a backhand at that. Kelsey squares this up, goes down, getting dirty at second base.
When it left the bat, I thought the game was over. Kennedy Buckman gave her team one more chance to bat, trailing Canada 5-0 as we go to the top of the 7th on night number 4 at the Canada Cup. Top of the 7th, Canada looks to close it out. 5 runs on 10 hits. 3 of those hits, including a home run, belong to Kelsey Harshman. Kiana Jones has 2 hits, including a 2-run homer that opened the scoring for Canada in the bottom of the 2nd. Ruby Salzman, and under the glove of Mesmer. Ruby Anderson, the young 17-year-old, came on in the last inning. Sarah Groenwagen started, Canada's number 1 pitcher, and threw a gem. A perfect 4 innings with 7 strikeouts. So another Canadian error. That would be a bit of a concern tonight. This one on Grace Mesmer, as she has played third tonight in place of the regular Canadian third base player, Emma Ensminger. And Ruby Salzman on board on the air. Emily Valtman. Anderson misses up. 2 balls and no strikes to Valtman, who has flown out Derek Apollodori and left, and then was the 7th and final strikeout for Sarah Groenwagen to end the 4th. Poole cued. Anderson looks at center, or pardon me, second. And Kristen Boyd is nervous. Back-to-back Canadian errors.
And those really are just mental errors, Peter. I'm sure we all know, but good job going 2 on that play, and just once you start to relax a little bit in this game is when errors happen, and we know that any team can come back. But Canada needs to tighten it up a little bit just because they don't make those errors. And they can't get comfortable with making those errors even if they have a 5-0 lead. So just get a little more focused here. Call timeout was a good idea. Get a ground ball. Get some outs. End the game.
Back-to-back errors have runners at first and second for Team Israel. As Kennedy Buckman made a brilliant catch to rob Kelsey Harshman from a 4th straight hit tonight. She drilled it. Buckman reached towards the bag at second, went to her knees to make the catch. Ruby Anderson is throwing it very well. Just 17 years of age.
I wonder if she's got the confidence yet to turn around to the defense and be like, hey, you guys, come on.
Help me out a little here.
Right. I don't know. It's a pretty senior, pretty strong infield. I don't know I would do that just yet. But I'm sure there's times where pitchers, it's happened to me. They turn around, they get frustrated. They're pitching their butt off and doing really well and want to win.
2 balls and 2 strikes to second base player Kennedy Buckman, who grounded out and then reached on a rare Janet Leung miscue. Was the first Israel base runner. Popped. Mesmer should have a play. And does. Or did it hit the screen?
It looked like it hit the screen a little bit.
Screen.
So
good call. Good concentration nonetheless, but Canada still looking for its first out here in the 7th. And this will be an out. It's an infield fly and caught by Mesmer.
good communication there. I've said it a few times. You don't really want the pitcher fielding the ball, whether it's a bunt or a fly ball. There are a lot of athletic pitchers that can field the ball, but good job with Canada communicating and the third baseman coming over and catching the ball.
On a line,
Nice.
Game over.
Very heads-up play there.
And Canada has not only knocked off Israel, they've no-hit them. Zoe Hicks catches the line drive off the bat of Maddie Lewis, and Sarah Groenwagen, Nicola Simpson, and young Ruby Anderson combine to no-hit Israel. And Canada is 5-1. And that should provide some more confidence for the likes of Nicola Simpson, who made her tournament debut in this year's event, and Ruby Anderson continues to open some eyes here. A no-hitter, but gives Sarah Groenwagen a lot of credit. She, Amanda, was superb.
That was really fun to watch up here. She struggled, and to watch her from up here, she did great. Way to lead this Canada team.
4 perfect innings for Sarah. Got it rolling on the rubber. And Canada will get ready tonight and tomorrow for a date with Japan. That's how they'll close out the round robin tomorrow at 6 as they salute their fans here in Softball City. Do not, I repeat, do not miss our next game. The 2 unbeaten teams, 5-0 Japan, 4-0 Triple Crown Colorado. Someone has to lose. We'll show it to you in about 40 minutes or so. So long for now from Softball City. Good stuff. Really good.
Yeah.
Really good show.
Yeah.
Good show.
I'm impressed with Israel.
I am too.
It's good.
It is good.
Even though they are,
They're going to start to become
even though they're all Americans,
Yeah.
they aren't all American
Everyone.
citizens. I'll say that better, but,
everyone.
but that's what's going to happen.
For the latest in softball innovation, the website where you can experience the best tournaments in the Americas. Live games, news, tournaments, and much, much more. The best quality live softball, on demand so you can watch when you want. Become a premier member now